Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to FortressCraft Evolved. I'm AxionEvolved, and before we get started, do me a quick favor, scroll down just a little bit, hit that subscribe button for me. Helps me out, helps the channel out, helps everything grow, and without further ado, let's hop right into this episode. So last time we kind of got this little guy over here set up, and as you can see, it's been doing some work, right? And I think this is the most it's going to be able to do, since everything is probably out of range. So I've slowly been siphoning some stuff off here and there. Resin, I think I have somewhere in here maybe. Yeah, 79. So we got 79 of that. So the main thing I wanted for that was research, right? So I'm going to need to put a hopper down. So let's slap a hopper on there. Let's drop, I don't remember how much it is. But there you go. So it'll be 25, so it'll kind of do that thing. And that will give us, it's not a whole lot that we're going to get out of this, but this hive mind agitator will let us kind of make our, I guess our resin farm, right? So kind of that same concept of what we did over there, just in a much larger scale. Those of you who have seen my previous season will kind of be familiar with how I set those up, but I'll be going over it again once it's time for that, you know. And let's take a look over here. A couple other changes I've made into some of this production. You notice I've unlocked organic solar panels, and basically I've kind of started beefing up. So this wasn't enough. Like there wasn't enough power for the matter movers to transmit the stuffs as fast as the belt. So I've kind of not only beefed up the power, but I've actually thrown a belt back into this. So it's belted from those lifts to here where it starts getting matter moved. And now you guys might be also noticing this kind of Mark II auto excavator area. And you'd be absolutely right. So one of the things I want to do, I think I've kind of designated this area kind of over here. On this level, I'm going to have to get rid of this -9 layer. But this is going to kind of be, I think, where I start to do the logistics for sorting out all of the ore and stuff that we're going to get from our quarries, right? So what does that mean, right? Well, for starters, you can see we kind of have our quarry right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have more quarries kind of in a line. And I think for now I'm going to use belts. But we have a couple options, right? If we go with the less power option, then we can use pipes eventually. Pipes, I think, are faster. I don't think I can make them, right? No. But pipes are faster than belts, I believe. So we can use pipes, but what I kind of want to do is just a single output from each quarry, right? Because yes, I can do 3 outputs, but that will eventually just become so full. Although we may end up having to do that, but if I do a single pipe or a single line kind of, you know, come out, output this way, and just kind of, you know, come way over here to this area where it can all macerate and process and sort, I think that'll be nice, because then I can just kind of have subsequent... oh, you know what? I might want to figure out the closest one first. Because what I don't want is to be crossing lines if I can help it, now that I'm thinking about it. So, yeah. So if this is the farthest one, let's say, it'll kind of come out this way. It'll output, and then it'll turn at some point and go up that way, right? I got to figure out kind of how many of these quarries that I can fit kind of in one line here. What's also nice is that, you know, if I do, let's say 5 quarries or whatever, kind of centered around this one, so in a line with all this, I can just hop back here and just start a new line, right? Like, give it enough space for the belts and stuff, the logistics, but it's totally expandable like that. Is that the living one? No, that's not the living one. The living one's over there. Okay. That's just getting kind of big. So that's kind of the plan. I don't think I made another quarry. I don't know if I have the stuff for another quarry. I would like to make. I did make, though. Where are they? 50 macerators, right? So that's kind of crazy. What's kind of nice though is that the sorting is kind of easy, honestly. You just get the smeltable stuff out first. You can see we haven't gotten anything smeltable yet. I'm not really, I can't really tell in here, but I don't even know what's going on. We might be just getting hit in bedrock or whatever down there, right? So in here, you could see, we're getting resources, right? So all of this stuff is a direct result of macerating. 18 different ores in there. Now, this is not fast. This is not a fast process, right? But we're kind of banking on the volume to get us through. And then eventually, what's nice about doing a single belt and kind of getting it set up with just like a single, I guess, logistics output is I can eventually change this all to matter movers, right? Because if you look at this setup, right, I got this battery, I got this hopper, and then I got a space right here. Well, I could encompass that whole section with a Mark IV battery powered by, whatever, conduits or something. And that's another cool thing, right? If I get these all on the same level, I could just link them all with conduits with like a couple turbines, somewhere involved in there too, and just make it really, really like power efficient or whatever, solar or however we end up doing it, right? So that's kind of exciting, but we're not there yet, right? So let me go and see actually if I have the materials to make another quarry, because I kind of want to do that. Okay, so we need the high energy composite fuel is, I don't want to say it's trivial, but we can totally do it. These I'll have to make. I think I have the resources. The sugar light crystals, I think I have quite a few of them in here. Yeah, I got 17, so that's kind of no problem. But it's just the upgrade modules. Those are kind of expensive. Obviously, we'll have to make all that from scratch. The composite fuel, if I farm a little bit more resin, we can make it. But for now, we've only got kind of what's in here. Is this done? It is done. Nice. So let's take that. Let's take all that. 54, not bad, but that's only going to make us, I think it's 2 resin per. Oh, 1. Okay, so it's 1 to 1. So I could actually just make 50 of those, huh? So let me, let's do this. 50. Let's just throw that in there. And then I'm going to replace this with like an actual hopper. And I'll do some iron. I wonder why the light just did that. That's strange. Okay, 50 iron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should make all the high energy composite fuel we would need, right? Look at that. And then how are we over here? Do I even have anything in here? Well, I got some titanium housing, okay. So let me get this going. We'll fill you up. I'm probably gonna need to get more titanium smelting in here. Do I have, what was I smelting? Oh, just nothing. Okay. So for now, I think I'm gonna go grab some more titanium. I'm going to kind of get that smelting, get that process going, because I would love to make one more quarry this episode. But I also want to do something about this defense. So we're starting to get the heavier monsters in. And while things are, let's say, stable, for lack of a better term, they definitely could be better, right? And you can see we're kind of transmitting power with laser energy transmitters and blah, blah, blah. It's just not great. This thing over here is literally now only powering this process, which is fine, and the defense, right? I moved the research assembler stuff down to the lab area, so like this is almost useless. We could totally do this in a different way. So I'm gonna go get that titanium. I'm gonna get that smelting, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna figure out something with this defense. All right, so we're going to do something really basic here. These Mark II guns have a pretty big range, so I'm going to do something kind of just like... actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to make a little tower. It's going to go that, battery. And then maybe even just 2 of these guns, right? So I'm just going to copy that over here. I'm going to do it in like a kind of normal radius or a very similar radius. I do like things to be somewhat symmetrical, you know, as much as I can. We'll do that. And then what I'm going to do, oh, I also have some logistics grommets now. So those will come in handy. Oh, except that's fine. I'll just do that. Copy, right? Copy everywhere. Copy everywhere.
Your base is under attack.
In the interim, I can do this. Coal, hello. Coal. There we go. Okay, take care of it myself. Okay, so we'll just do that, right? And you can kind of see, you know, what the plan is here, right? So we'll just do this. We'll just do that. We'll do this and that. And this should be sufficient to power everything here, right? So it's literally just going to be... I'm going to have to go around this, actually. I'm going to do this. We're going to do... Because we don't want to be putting belts next to any other hoppers if we can help it. Otherwise, it'll just steal. And so that'll kind of do its thing. I'm going to need to reroute this power. Did I put turrets on everything? Nice. Yeah, and this infused coal should give us more than enough. You know what I mean? Okay, how can I get my power over to here? Easy. I'll slap a battery right there. Again, this is all like super temporary stuff, right? There we go. And that's just for this guy. Primary upgrade modules. And just like that, iron gear is done. So yeah, that's kind of it. It doesn't need to get crazier than that. Oh god, it's so hard to do this sometimes on the jetpack. But I love the jetpack so much. It's probably one of the biggest quality of life things that you can have. So 12 turrets, and they have a pretty big range. You know, they pretty much overlap a lot of the other stuff. So yeah, I mean, these will start getting taken care of relatively quick. Let me see, do we have any of the heavies coming in? Not yet. But yeah. Oh, I forgot Arthur's in there doing his little job. Alright, Arthur, come on out, buddy. Alright, how is this looking? Okay, so I'm going to now focus on getting all this stuff for another quarry, and then I will bring you guys back. Alright, so while I'm waiting for everything to manufacture so I can make another quarry, I'm going to play around with how these macerators are set up, right? And I don't really have a super concrete plan, but I think I do want to do things kind of in multiples of 3, right? And can I auto build this? That'd be really nice. Cool. And then I'm going to output into logistics hoppers. I think it doesn't matter which direction you do it in. I think it'll be fine, right? Oh, of course. Like it never happened. Okay. So here's kind of the general, I guess, gist of everything, right? And I'll even kind of hook up some of this stuff for now. What I'm going to do, right? Let's just go this way. I'm just literally going to have all of this output to a hopper right now. What I want to do, so I can kind of get, let's say, 3, I guess about 3 lines of output per quarry relatively safely, let's say. But one of the things is, I'm going to be outputting stuff from the quarries much faster than these can input. So I'm kind of thinking about doing like a, kind of like this number, right? Which is why I wanted to do multiples of 3. Because eventually, it's got to kind of be like this, right? So that the hoppers will be able to output slightly faster than they're being, well, closer to the speed that they're being input into, right? But the only problem is I'm going to have, what, 6 lines, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I'll just make another... Oh, that is in the way. I'll probably just get rid of that. I'm going to make 3 more. Just mirror the whole setup. No big deal. And what's nice is we can kind of just use this, you know? Boom, just like that. Okay. So then what I can do is essentially have yet another... Well, each line can feed into one of these guys. I'm going to for sure need to make more belts, but, you know, proof of concept and all that. We can have this just kind of come over this way and feed into there. Same thing here. Same thing here. And this can handle one quarry's worth of material. Hopefully, right? We'll kind of see how that works, but I think the next thing I want to do, let's literally try to hook up those two quarries and then at least get that all over to here. And we can siphon off the we can siphon off all the stuff in the meantime. So another cool thing, and let me show you what I'm talking about. One of the benefits we have of siphoning off the coal like this is for every quarry we have that hits a coal deposit, we can eventually just run that back into our enriching plant, wherever kind of we set up that permanent one. Maybe I'll just make it right over here. I've already got like a little one going, obviously, and maybe it's worth making a bigger one, you know, just to do it. Because if I can, I mean, I don't think, I know as we get lower in depth, these take more power. In fact, I'm going to swap that out with that. Hope I grabbed that battery, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, they take way more power. I mean, you can see, look, it goes up to 384 and just drops, you know? So that's definitely a thing. We're not going to be able to sustain with coal on these long term, but in the short term and for other things, you better believe that we're going to be using coal. So let me get all the resources and materials I need, and then we'll see if we can't hook at least this guy up to our huge macerator array that we just made. All right, so I've actually gone ahead and kind of made this little belt right here. So literally all we need to do is this and rotate, and then this will kind of start feeding everything over there. The only thing we need to worry about and check for the time being is, you know, make sure the coal thing's not filled up. I got a lot of belts back by tearing down the little resin farm over there, because we're going to have to end up rebuilding it anyway. And remember, this is not the end game setup for this. This is merely kind of a proof of concept slash kind of spacing, figuring out type deal. So you can see, you know, I'm connecting all this up. I dug a little hole in here just for this belt. But remember, there's going to be, you know, quarries in this general vicinity. So I might actually kind of figure out some spacing and put the next one over here just so it can directly output to this. But it should be, you know, pretty stable. I even kind of split it this way so that eventually if I bring 3 belts over for each, it can just feed right in. But for now, it's gonna split once this stuff backs up. So yeah, I'll give it some time, and then I'll bring you guys. Actually, I don't need to do that because it'll be here in a second. So, and there you go. As you can see it kind of stacking up over time, it should distribute it. You know, I could go for a smaller hopper there, maybe a logistics hopper, but it's kind of nice to have like an overflow there. I might end up eventually making those like 200 slot hoppers, but see, there you go. There's our first ore. And again, this is not the fastest thing ever. You know, pipes, more power, that can all kind of help us get, you know, kind of like speed up the feeding process here. Because again, we're gonna the idea is to rely on this for the most amount of our ore that we can. And if if worse comes to worse, I can put all this stuff into a room and just feed it, right? Make a mess. You know, I can build this whole setup again, just literally right on top of it. So scalability isn't really the issue there. I can throw it in a room so we don't actually have to watch it kind of process, but I mean, that's not too bad, right? So on that note, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I'm gonna try to edit this one out a little bit shorter, hopefully. I got some feedback on the last episode. Maybe you guys want a little bit shorter format. So, I'll give it a shot. I don't know where this will end up being. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys are excited for what's to come. And we'll see you in the next one.